Come on. Hopefully everybody's back. Hey guys, we are back. I'm sorry. Hopefully everybody's still there. Let me know if you're still out there. Hopefully you guys are still there. I appreciate y'all watching when you did. Hey Stacy, hopefully you're still there. I'm sorry for anybody that doesn't see it. I've been trying to get this thing to come back up. Let me know if you're there. Hopefully somebody's in here. Hi guys, we are back. I'm sorry for the delay. I don't know what happened. It just for some reason did not connect at all. Hopefully you guys can see me. I'm hoping I can see some of you in a couple minutes as well. There's Stacy. There's Noah. Hey guys, thank you for joining us. Sorry about that. We had a little bit of a kind of a snafu, I guess, with the internet here at the house. It went out on us, and then I lost everything. Good. I'm glad you guys got notified. Thank you for coming back. I definitely appreciate that. I don't know what happened. Just for some reason, it just like all of a sudden, I lost it. I kind of lost it. So I appreciate y'all coming back. Yes, take two. Absolutely. Now we did Cruella de Vil. I think that's where we were last. And now we're going to move on to our next matchup. Thank you guys for coming back. I definitely appreciate it. All right, it's too bad we had 15 people in here too, and we were really moving along really, really nicely. So hopefully everybody comes back and gets notified. If you guys don't mind sending out a tweet, letting them know we're back, I could appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely, Stacy. We'll give a rundown of where we are for sure. So we had Kronk over Clayton. We had we had Pete over Chick Hicks. Hey, Disney World Adventures, thank you for coming back. I appreciate it. Sorry about that. Lost internet connection for a minute there. We had Pete over Chick Hicks. We had Cruella de Vil over the Queen of Hearts. We had Darla over Madame Medusa. We had Jafar over Judge Doom. We have the Evil Queen over Roar Omega. We had Bellwether over Yzma, at least for me. Cruella versus the Queen of Hearts. Brian, and then Sid over Charles Muntz, and that's kind of where we are at this point. So thank you all for coming back and being patient. I don't know what happened. I think we lost internet connection here for a few minutes, which is really kind of weird because the weather's really nice outside. Yes, please hit that smash that like button for us, guys. I appreciate it. Definitely appreciate you coming back. Sorry for the delay there for sure. Queen of Hearts gets Brian's vote. 8 people watching. Thank you guys for coming back. I definitely appreciate it. Thanks, Stacy. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. All right, so let's move on to the next match. And this next one's actually kind of a good one. I think this is kind of an interesting one. Hey, Johns, Richard, thanks for coming back. Sorry about that. Lost internet connection for a minute. We are going to do Kaa versus Stinky Pete. Of course, Kaa is from the Jungle Book. He's the snake. And, of course, Stinky Pete is from Toy Story 2. Everybody knows who that is. So who do you guys pick in that matchup? We have Kaa versus Stinky Pete. Stacy, I did watch Once Upon a Time. I think we watched the first season, maybe the second season. But, yes, we did watch it. So Melissa picked Stinky Pete, which is a good pick. And then let's see what everybody else picks. Kaa versus Stinky Pete. Kaa for Brian. Hey, our Disney Adventures. Hi, Marisol. If this is Marisol, Ohana, how are you? Hope you're doing well. We're doing our Disney. Krista's back. Thank you, Krista. Stinky Pete. Stinky Pete. We are doing our Disney Villains Bracket Challenge, Marisol. We are picking our winners and our favorites of all the villains matchups. And right now we are doing Stinky Pete from Toy Story 2 versus Kaa. We got Stinky Pete, Stinky Pete. Yes, that's true, Stacy. Good. That's a good point. Yep. But we only watched a couple seasons of it. Yeah. That's exactly right, Brian. So, Stinky Pete versus Kaa. All right, so there you go. And for me, I think I'm going to go against the grain here, guys. I'm going with Kaa in this one. I like the snake in this movie. I think he's really cool, and he is getting my vote. If I can click on this and put it in there, I'd love to be able to do that. Hopefully I can do it. Ka gets my vote. That's my vote, is Ka. So we're going to move on to the next matchup, and the next matchup is going to be, I think this one's going to probably be an easy one for a lot of people. The next one is going to be Gaston versus Frollo. Not Frodo, Frollo. And for those that don't know, if I'm not mistaken, Frollo is from Hunchback. I think he's from the Hunchback of Notre Dame movie. So it's going to be Frollo versus Gaston. So what's everybody's pick there? I think I know what everybody's pick is. I think that's kind of an easy one, but I want to get everybody's votes on that one. Frollo versus Gaston. Gaston for Melissa. Let's see, we got Krista with Gaston. We got Stacy with Frollo. There you go. Noah with Gaston. Back up to 13 people, folks, again. Gaston. Catherine Geiger. Hey, Catherine. Thanks for dropping in. Gaston was a hero, Brian says. I guess depending upon your point of view. Yeah, Frollo is pure evil for sure, Stacy. Now, that one's a little bit closer than I thought. I really thought Gaston would probably win that one hands down. I'm sorry, Brian and Stacy, but for me, I've got to go with Gaston. He's definitely one of the more unique Disney villains out there. So Gaston gets my vote for sure. Oh, Jennifer put that. All right, okay, so let's move on to the next matchup. Catherine is Jen. Okay, Catherine, thank you. Jen. Cool, very nice. Well, welcome, Jen. Glad you're here. Cargo's in the house. Hey, Cargo, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. We are doing our Disney Villains Bracket Challenge. We got some good matchups. And the next matchup, now I call this guy the bowler hat guy. And you get extra credit if you can tell me what his real name is. But the next matchup is Bowler Hat Guy versus Mother Gothel. And of course, Bowler Hat Guy is from Meet the Robinsons. And Mother Gothel is from Tangled. So that's your next matchup. Mother Gothel versus Bowler Hat Guy. And I always call him Bowler Hat Guy. I don't know what his real name is, but that's what I call him. So who is your winner there? Who do you pick there? If you had to pick a winner between those two, that's your matchup. I think for me, I think I know who's going to win this one. I think it's the more popular of the pick. Hey, Cargo, thanks for joining us. Melissa picks Mother Gothel. So that's one for Mother Gothel. Yeah, I call him Bowler Hat Guy. That's what I call him. I think it's Sid too, but I'm not sure, Stacy. Mother Gothel. You know what? That would have been my pick as well. Would have been Mother Gothel, for sure. So that's definitely who's going to move on my bracket is Mother Gothel. And Mother Gothel will move on to the next round. Oh, that's going to be a good matchup too when we get there. Okay, this next matchup is a really good one. You have Hopper from A Bug's Life versus Mr. Waternoose. Now, if you all don't remember, Mr. Waternoose is from Monsters Incorporated. He was the almost half monster, half, I don't know, lobster or whatever he is. Goob. Okay, Goob, Stacy, thank you. But we have Mr. Waternoose versus Hopper. Mr. Waternoose versus Hopper. So who gets your pick there? Hopper is actually a really good bad guy. Crab. He's bad to the blubber. Cargo says, Mr. Waternoose. Mr. Waternoose. Hopper for Brian. So this one's actually a really close vote. Some for Mr. Waternoose, some for Hopper. I don't know, guys. This is a toughie for me, too. I don't know. Disney World Adventure says Hopper. I got to go with Hopper. he's one of my favorite villains. I think Kevin Spacey does a great job with the voice, and I really love Hopper. Okay, Cargo. Yep, we'll be here. No problem. Appreciate you stopping in when you did, for sure. We'll be here. So Hopper is going to move on for me. Stacy picks Mr. Waternoose. I don't think you go wrong with either one of these picks, to be honest with you. Hopper or Mr. Waternoose. They're all really, really good picks. But for me, I've got to go with Hopper, for sure. So the next one is a good one, too. We have Chef Skinner from Ratatouille versus Hades. And, of course, Hades is from Hercules. Chef Skinner from Ratatouille versus Hades. And who does everybody pick there? I know what my pick is. But I want to know what you guys pick. So Hades versus Chef Skinner. And Hades, we have Hades, hands down, from Melissa. That's probably her favorite villain, to be honest with you. So I knew she would pick him. Hades. We have Chef Skinner from nowhere. There you go. Hades, Disney World Adventures. Hades, he's a better cook. Well, he burns everything, Brian. Hades gets another vote there. Our Disney Adventures saying hi to everybody, for sure. Glad you're here, Marisol. Marisol, be sure to vote. I want to hear your side of things, too. Hades versus Chef Skinner. Hades versus Chef. I know who my pick is. And probably because he's probably not my, I don't know, he might be my favorite villain. And for me, it's got to be Hades. Hades has to move on. You can't not have Hades in, near the finals in this bracket. He's one of the really bad guys. He's really popular. He's got so many great one-liners. I got to go with Hades on this one. So Hades is going to move on to the next round, guys. So Hades moves on to round 2. And now we move on to our next matchup. And here's another one that I think you guys are going to be surprised with. But we have Oogie Boogie from, of course, Nightmare Before Christmas versus Shan Yu. And for those that don't know, Shan Yu is from Mulan. He's the big bad guy in Mulan. So who do you pick there? Shan Yu or Oogie Boogie? I think I know where everybody's going with this one. But I want to see what everybody picks. Shan Yu versus Oogie Boogie. And thank you for everybody that came back. I'm sorry about the lag there a little bit earlier. Brian's one-liners are better than Hades. I don't know, Brian. He has some good one-liners, man. Shan Yu versus Oogie Boogie. So far, Oogie Boogie. See who else we get. See if you guys can... See if we get a unanimous on Oogie Boogie. So we got couple for Oogie Boogie. Melissa says she doesn't. It happens. No worries. Yep, Shan Yu. Oh, there's a couple for Shan Yu. Brian and Stacy said Shan Yu. Couple for Disney World Adventures and Noah says Oogie Boogie. Oogie Boogie, Shan Yu. All right, Melissa, you got to make a pick. Which one? Oogie Boogie or Shan Yu? She picked Shan Yu as well. And for me, Melissa knows who I'm probably going to pick. I think she knows. Hey, Bridget's back. Thanks, Bridget. We appreciate it. Sorry about that. I had an internet connection issue. We lost internet for like 5 minutes. I had to reboot the system and start the stream over. So, Shan Yu, okay. And I got to be honest, guys. I would have picked Shan Yu as well. That's one of my favorite villains. I think he's highly underrated. He's one of the villains that I would love to meet. If you ever got him at a meet and greet, he would be one of the villains. Other than Jafar and Hades, he's one of the ones that I've always wanted to meet with Shan Yu. So I know Oogie Boogie is a really popular villain, especially during the Halloween time. But I'm sorry, I got to pick Shan Yu. Shan Yu makes it for me. He's my pick. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad you were able to eat. All right, so let's move on. So we are really moving along here. And let's see, I wonder what's worse, losing your internet or YouTube crashing. Well, they're kind of the same, I think, Stacy, for me, because if I don't have internet, I can't use YouTube. But I don't know. Probably the internet, because if YouTube crashes, there are other things I could do with the internet. Read some articles, go on other things, go on Twitter, go on Facebook. So probably YouTube crashing wouldn't be as bad as losing the internet as a whole. All right, next matchup. Here we go. This one's kind of a weird one. I don't know how this one's going to go. We have the Underminer from, of course, The Incredibles versus Hans. And, of course, Hans is from Frozen. He's the guy that's trying to marry Anna. And he's actually the bad guy in the movie. So we have Hans, Prince Hans, I guess he's a prince. Hans versus the Underminer. Hey, Brian, no problem. We appreciate it. Thanks for stopping in, bud. I appreciate you stopping in. Hans. Say hi to Jennifer for me. Thanks again, Brian. Appreciate it. If you didn't hit that like button, please do so, bud, before you head out. Everybody picks Hans. Underminer. There's a vote for Underminer for Brian before he heads out. Krista, I knew what you meant. Yep, Hans. And you know what, guys? Hans would have been my pick, too. I would have picked him. So Hans makes it to the next round as well. Hans is the pick. Good pick. I tend to agree with everybody. And now the next one. This is interesting. We have Professor Z versus the evil Emperor Zurg. Now, does everybody know who Professor Z is? If you don't know who Professor Z is, let me know, because I can tell you who it is. But Professor Z, and now I'm drawing it. Oh, he's from, that's right, he's from Cars. Cars 2. Professor Z versus the evil Emperor Zurg. Let me know who you guys pick. Evil Emperor Zurg or Professor Z. And please, guys, if you could go out there and hit that like button for me. I think we've got like 11 people watching and we have like 6 or 7 likes. Please go out there and hit that for me. I'd appreciate it. Stacy Rogers, Professor Z is in Cars 2, I think. That's where he is. I could be wrong, but I think that's where he is. Evil Emperor Zurg. Emperor Zurg? That makes sense, Bridget, if you haven't seen it. Krista says Zurg as well. And let's see. So we have Zurg there. Evil Emperor Zurg from Disney World Adventures. Stacy says Zurg as well. And I agree. That would be my pick as well, is Zurg. Zurg definitely would be my pick. I think he's funny as anything. I think he's awesome. He's a good villain for Buzz. And he definitely moves on in my book as well. Totally good pick. Oh, thanks, Disney World Adventures. I appreciate that. Hopefully we'll get some people in here. Be nice if we can get a lot of people in. Be nice to get a lot of votes from everybody, see what everybody's thinking. But if not, hey, no problem at all. I'm just glad you guys are here with me. And it's been a lot of fun so far. Let's keep going. Let's see. We are on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, here we go. Okay, so our next pick, and this is another goodie. We have Governor Radcliffe versus Captain Hook. Now, I think I know where everybody's going to go with this one, but we have Governor Radcliffe versus Captain Hook. So what are your picks there? Governor Radcliffe versus Captain Hook. Pretty straightforward, I think. Governor Radcliffe, of course, for those who may not know, he's from, if I'm not mistaken, but he's from Pocahontas. He's the bad guy in that one. And it's Governor Radcliffe versus Captain Hook. Let's see what everybody picks on that one. Oh, Radcliffe. How about that? Stacy Rogers and Krista with Governor Radcliffe. Radcliffe. Noah Radcliffe. How about that? How about that? That's pretty interesting. Now, see, I would have said that would have probably been Captain Hook for sure. Disney World Adventures. Melissa says Hook. I never would have thought Governor Radcliffe would get that many votes from everybody. That's pretty interesting. Now, Krista and Stacy and Noah, are you guys fans of the movie Pocahontas, or you're just not fans of Captain Hook, I wonder? Wow, how about that? That's crazy. How about that? Governor Radcliffe, Captain Hook, Hook for Bridget. There we go. A couple more. So for me, I wasn't a very big fan of the movie Pocahontas. I didn't really have a connection with that movie. I didn't hate it. It was fine. It was good, but it wasn't one of my favorites. So I love Peter Pan, and I think Captain Hook is such a unique character in his own right. And so for me, I got to go with Captain Hook. I mean, Hook's got to make it to the next round. And Krista, I totally get that, and that's what I was saying about Pocahontas, is it really makes a difference as to whether or not you're a fan of the movie. Because if you're a fan of the movie, you're probably going to be a bigger fan of the villain because you have a better connection to it. With me, I had a better connection with Peter Pan, so that's why I like Captain Hook. But I get it. You love Pocahontas, so it makes sense. Ha! Stacy, that's funny because that was one of the things with that show, with Once Upon a Time, Stacy, that I actually didn't like, is the fact that they changed the characters from what I'm used to in the movies. So for me, I couldn't get with Once Upon a Time because of that. I didn't like the fact that they made Captain Hook a good guy. I liked the fact that he was a bad guy. Oh, Bridget, I didn't know that. He's voiced by the same person. How about that? That's pretty cool. Okay, so Captain Hook is going to move on. Sorry, guys. Captain Hook has to be the pick for me. Governor Radcliffe gave him a good fight, but it's going to be Captain Hook for sure. So the next one is, and this is a good one too, but I think we know who's going to win this one. We have Captain Gantu. Now, Captain Gantu, for those who don't know, is from Lilo and Stitch. That's the really big, he almost looks like a shark or a whale guy that's trying to get Stitch. Captain Gantu versus Scar. Captain Gantu versus Scar. Really tough one there. That's a toughie. But I know where my pick is. But Captain Gantu versus Scar. Let's see what everybody picks. Stacy says Scar. Noah says Scar. Bridget says Scar. Krista says Scar. Yeah, great villain. He really is a one-of-a-kind villain for sure. Disney World Adventure says Scar. Yeah, that's true, Stacy. If you can kill your own brother, he's pretty bad for sure. Gantu is scary, but Scar is a little scarier. Scar is, and Scar is voiced by Jeremy Irons, who is awesome. Has a great voice. I agree. Scar. So it's pretty much unanimous, and I agree. Scar definitely has to win this one and move on to the next round. As my dog sneezes behind us. So Scar moves on, and now we are moving on to our next matchup. Guys are doing great. I hope everybody's enjoying this. Again, please hit that like button for us. Our next matchup is going to be Al from Al's Toy Barn in Toy Story versus Ursula. Of course, Ursula is from The Little Mermaid. So you have Al from Al's Toy Barn versus Ursula from The Little Mermaid. And I think we know who everybody is going to pick there. But that's the matchup, so we have to vote on it. Ursula versus Al from Al's Toy Barn. Ursula from Bridget. I know who Melissa is going to pick because this is one of her favorite movies. Yeah, Cam's sneezing Melissa up here. So, Stacy, you've only seen the first Toy Story. Oh, my gosh, you have to watch the other two. They get better. They get better and better, for sure. Ursula. Yeah, that was a good matchup, Melissa. It's different. I like the fact that that's what was picked out because, Al from Al's Toy Barn, he's pretty bad as well. Yeah, Bridget, you're right. He's the guy from the original Jurassic Park, the kind of heavyset guy with the glasses that gets kind of eaten, I guess. Yep, I know who he is for sure. So Al versus Ursula. So far we got votes for Ursula. Yeah, Disney World Adventures. It's fun. It's a neat bracket. I did something different. I kind of made this bracket up myself. I didn't get this offline or anything like that. I just kind of made it up myself. But I thought it would be a fun bracket to do. It's kind of cool when you can put them all together and see what everybody's picks are. Stacy says, we have them now, just haven't had time to watch them. But definitely before Toy Story 4. Yes, Stacy, for sure. Make sure you watch them because they're great. Krista, your friend hated the third Toy Story, which amazes me because it's wonderful. And every time I talk about it, he says there is no third one. I don't know, Krista. I thought it was I think it probably was my favorite of the three. Yeah, Bridget, this is fun. I agree. I agree. Ursula for Noah as well. Yeah, that's my pick. It's got to be Ursula. Ursula has got to move on in that bracket as well. So Ursula moves on to the next round. So here's another good matchup, and let's see if you guys know who this is. Because I didn't when I first did this. We have Dr. Facilier versus Mordu. Now, those who don't know, Mordu is from the movie Brave. Mordu versus Dr. Facilier. So who is everybody's pick there? Mordu versus Dr. Facilier. I think I know who everybody's going to pick, but I just want to see what everybody picks. And of course, we see more of Dr. Facilier during the Halloween time because we see him during the parties and in the show and in the parade. But Dr. Facilier for Stacy. See who else everybody picks. Mordu. And Mordu is another one nobody thinks about. And I don't think that Mordu has a really big part in the movie Brave, but they are there. Dr. Facilier, Stacy and Melissa. Got a couple of picks there. See if we can get a couple more. I want to see what everybody's picking. Dr. Facilier for Noah, Disney World Adventures, Dr. Facilier. Bridget, of course, makes sense. Absolutely, hometown guy, Dr. Facilier, so he's kind of he gets the home field advantage with you. Hey, Disney Damsels! Hi, Rowan, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Thanks for stopping in. We're doing our Disney Villains, Disney Villains bracket challenge, and we are off and running. We got almost the whole first round done. We got a couple more matchups to do before we move to the second round. We got a couple of upsets, but nothing too bad so far. And right now we are doing Dr. Facilier versus Mordu. And again, Mordu is from Brave, and of course everybody knows who Dr. Facilier is. It looks like Dr. Facilier is getting the votes. Good. I'm glad you're doing well. Glad you're doing well. It's good seeing you the other night. Congratulations on your win. And we actually have talked about Hades, and he lost. No, I'm just kidding. He didn't lose. Yes, we already did. Hades went up against Chef Skinner from Ratatouille, and he won pretty easily. But don't worry, he'll be around for round 2, and wait till you see who he's facing in round 2. But right now we are doing Dr. Facilier, and that's my pick, guys. It's going to be Dr. Facilier. He's going to move on to the next round. So our next matchup, and this is a good one, and you guys will definitely know this. We have the Horned King, which, of course, I didn't know who that was this weekend on Jeopardy, but we have the Horned King versus Shere Khan. And of course, Shere Khan is also from the Jungle Book. He's the tiger in the movie. So Shere Khan versus the Horned King. So who is your pick there? Shere Khan versus the Horned King. And of course, the Horned King is from the Black Cauldron, which we didn't know this weekend. We lost those points because of that. So Shere Khan versus the Horned King. And who do you pick there? Let's see who everybody picks. I'm interested to see, because this is actually kind of a different matchup. Definitely one that is hard. Yeah, the Horned King. I'm not that familiar either, Rowan, with the Horned King. But I know who Shere Khan is, and I know what he wanted to do. All right, Shere Khan. One Horned King vote from Noah. Very nice. Shere Khan from Melissa. I have not seen the Black Cauldron, Bridget, in, I'm going to say, decades. It has been a really long time since I've seen the Black Cauldron, so I tend to agree. Shere Khan. That's going to be my pick as well. I think Shere Khan gets the pick. Disney World Adventure agrees, Shere Khan. So there we go. Shere Khan's going to move on, and oh my gosh, that's a bad guy for you. He wants to eat Mowgli big time, doesn't he? And he'll go through anybody to get to him for sure. So Shere Khan gets the vote, and now we are moving on to another matchup. And that next matchup is going to be, and this is a good one. Let's see if how this one goes. It's going to be Syndrome from The Incredibles, Syndrome versus Otto. And does everybody know, anybody out there for extra credit, what movie is Otto from? Stacy would have gone with the Horn King. How about that? There you go. Yeah, Disney World Adventures. I like the Jungle Book too. I definitely do. I have seen the live-action Jungle Book, Bridget, and I think it was okay. I didn't love it. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was great. Noah, you win the extra points. That's exactly right. Otto is from WALL-E. So we have Otto versus Syndrome. And you're correct, Noah. Good job. Noah gets an extra credit point for knowing what movie. Very good. Yep, Otto is from WALL-E. Good job. Absolutely. So who do you guys pick? Otto or Syndrome? What's your pick? Who's your pick? Syndrome or Otto? Love to hear from you guys. Let me see who you pick. I know who I would pick, but I want to hear who you would pick. Who would you pick? Is it going to be Syndrome or Otto? Otto with Noah. Noah with Otto. There's one for Otto. Here's a good one. Again, some of these matchups are so kind of out there. Yeah, Disney Damsels, that's true, Rowan. We picked 64 villains, so we definitely had to pick from all different movies, for sure. But don't worry, a lot of the ones you know are coming, for sure. So Otto gets a vote, Otto gets a vote, Otto Syndrome gets a vote. There you go. Syndrome is from the original Incredibles, Bridget. He's the big bad in Incredibles, the first movie. He was the little boy who grew up, wanted to be part of the Incredibles, but then he became a bad guy. So Syndrome versus Otto. Everybody's picking Syndrome. So there are several Otto votes too, which is really cool. Hey, Disney World Adventures, our Disney Adventures, thank you for coming back, Ohana. Definitely appreciate it. Sorry about before we lost our connection with the internet. So I'm glad you're back. It is Syndrome versus Otto. Otto, of course, is from WALL-E. My pick is going to be Syndrome. I think he's a really bad guy. Definitely has a chip on his shoulder, and he gets my vote for sure. Okay, so here we are. We're down to a couple more votes for the first round, and then we'll move on to the second round, and then that'll probably be it for this week, and then maybe we'll finish off next week. Unless you guys are doing good and you want to keep going, but we'll keep going for now. Hi, Marisol. Glad you're here. Be sure to hit that like button for me, guys and gals. Please do. All right, so the next matchup. Hey, Disney World Adventures. No, thank you very much. I'm glad you had fun. Definitely appreciate you coming out. Oh, excuse me. You have a great night, too. I hope to see you again soon. A lot of talking. I have to take a drink of water. So definitely thank you for coming out. If you haven't hit the like button, if you could hit that before you go, I'd appreciate it. And we are going to keep going, guys. Prince John. Our next matchup is Prince John from Robin Hood versus King Candy. And, of course, King Candy is from Wreck-It Ralph. He's the big bad guy in Wreck-It Ralph. So we have Prince John versus King Candy. Who would you pick there? Prince John versus King Candy. I really like Wreck-It Ralph. I think it's it's actually one of my favorite movies for sure. In reference to the Pixar movies, I really enjoyed Wreck-It Ralph. I can't wait for Ralph Breaks the Internet. Yeah, they're both great. I agree. Oh, thank you, Disney World Adventures. I appreciate that very much. We'll see you soon for sure. I appreciate that very much. And King Candy, King Candy, King Candy. Prince John. Melissa says Prince John. Interesting. I'm going to go... I think for me, this is really hard because I think both of them are good villains. They're not great villains, but I'm kind of I gotta go with Prince John. I'm sorry, I'm kind of old school on this one. I think Prince John is a real good bad guy, and Cargo's back. Hey, no problem at all, Cargo. I appreciate you stopping back in. We are doing, we are continuing on. We're almost done with our first round here. Yes, Bridget, I agree. And for me, I got to pick Prince John. Prince John gets the vote for me over King Candy. I like King Candy. Yeah, Prince John is the lion. Yes, Rowan, the lion. Yep. But he gets the vote for me. Is Prince John. So, all right, let's move on. So the next one is, and this is a good matchup too. We have Ratigan, Professor Ratigan, from I think he's from, if I'm not mistaken, The Great Mouse Detective. Ratigan versus Randall, and of course Randall is from Monsters Incorporated. Randall versus Professor Ratigan. So who does everybody pick there? Randall versus Professor Ratigan. Randall versus Professor Randall. Ratigan is evil for sure, Cargo. That he is. And he's also voiced by I think, Vincent Price. Randall. Yeah, Ratigan's a good one. He definitely is, Melissa. I agree. Again, another bad guy that a lot of people tend to overlook. For one, I agree. It's not the easiest movie to get through. It's definitely not on one of the higher lists for one of Disney's better movies. But I didn't mind it. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it either. But I have gotten through it. So it was voiced by Vincent Price for sure. Yeah, World's Greatest Criminal Mind. Right. I think that's I think that's from the song. Cargo, you're right. But so for me, I got to pick Randall. Randall, again, is another one of my favorite villains. I think he's awesome. I love that he's voiced by Joe Buscemi, however you say his last name. But he's really funny. And I got to go with Randall on that one. Next matchup. So here we go. So here's one of the big villains that everybody's been waiting for. So we have the Agent. Now, for those that don't know, the Agent is from the movie Bolt. And then also going up against, the Agent is going up against, of course, Maleficent. So, Maleficent versus the Agent. I think we know who's going to win this one. But let's get the votes anyway. Maleficent versus the Agent. Maleficent. Yeah, for sure. Maleficent. We have several of them for the win, baby. Yep, there you go. Maleficent. So, yeah, that one's kind of an easy one. Nobody really thinks about Bolt, but that's... Bolt actually is a pretty cute movie. But, yep, Maleficent would have been my vote as well. All right, so the next matchup is, and this is a good one, and this is probably, for me, the hardest one so far, in my opinion. It's going to be the next one. I think it's obvious how. Yes, it is, for sure, Cargo. So for me, the next matchup, this is a real hard one. We have Mr. Smee versus Lotso from Toy Story 3. Mr. Smee versus Lotso. That's a real tough one. Whew. I got to think about this one myself for my pick. But we have Mr. Smee versus Lotso. So I want to hear from you guys and gals. Who do you pick? Mr. Smee versus Lotso. So Bridget says Lotso. Cargo says Mr. Smee is her home slice. Rowan says Mr. Smee. Can't stand Lotso. Yeah, he's definitely a bad guy. So Stacy says Lotso. Noah says Mr. Smee. Melissa, who do you say? Mr. Smee is more of a lackey. Yeah, I guess he's more of a lackey, but he's still a bad guy, Stacy, in my opinion. He's going to definitely do whatever he needs to do to help to help Captain Hook. Oh, Cargo. I'm sorry, I missed that. I'll have to go back and rewind. I'll have to watch it. Mr. Smee, Mr. Smee. Melissa says Lotso. So, all right. So, he's a good bad guy for sure. He is. So for me, I got to go against the grain, guys. I'm sorry. I got to go Lotso here. I just think Lotso's a bad guy for sure. And I mean, even in the end there, at the end of that movie, when you thought maybe he was going to help them and be a good guy and turn around, he didn't. He was a bad guy. And I think ultimately Mr. Shmee, if he had a chance to be a good guy, would be a good guy. So I'm kind of going against the grain here, and I'm going to say Lotso for me. Oh, that's okay, Cargo. No problem at all. Cool. Yeah, I'll definitely try to catch it on Thursday for sure. So, definitely wear those Thursday. That way I can see them. All right, so last matchups of the first round. And then from there, maybe we'll get the second round in, and then we'll kind of hold off till next week because there's so many matchups for the last couple rounds to kind of finish everything up. All right, so the last matchup to the first round, we have, and again, I had to pick some of these at the last minute to kind of fill the bracket. So we have Chernabog, and everybody knows who Chernabog is, and if you don't know who Chernabog is, make sure you look him up because he is a bad, bad villain. Versus the Heffalumps and Woozles from Winnie the Pooh. So we have the Heffalumps and Woozles, kind of put them in together, versus Chernabog. Now, I know who I'm picking in this one. I think it's kind of clear-cut who the bad guy is here. But you have Heffalumps and Woozles versus Chernabog. And who do you all pick there? And I'm hoping I'm saying that right. Is it? I guess that's how you say it. It's Chernabog, right? I'm not 100%, but I think that's who it is. Let me just pull it up here. So in Chernabog, Rowan, if you're not familiar, is from he's from the Bald Mountain, and I had to look him up too at first. I know who he is, but he's the bad guy in, I think it's Fantasia, if I'm not mistaken, and somebody can correct me, but he's definitely a bad guy. Yeah, I think it's Chernabog. And somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but is he from Fantasia? Yeah, he is Fantasia. Okay, gotcha. And that's why, if you notice, Rowan, if you look at the ride at the end of the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party parade, the Boo-to-You parade, that big float that they're on, that Jafar and the Evil Queen and Maleficent are on, Chernabog's up there. That's who that is. Yeah, Brian, there you go. That's exactly right. That's the demon you were talking about. Yep, I did add him on. I couldn't remember. But yes. Yes, Chernabog. That's who that is. But yeah, that would definitely have been my pick too. I would have definitely picked Chernabog. He is definitely a bad guy. For sure. Yep, he's a big bad for sure. I agree. All right, so yep, that's definitely my pick. The next picks here is I kind of had to do this one. This one's kind of an interesting one. We have the Sheriff of Nottingham from Robin Hood, and then I kind of added these two together because I think they're kind of one and the same. And that's Jasper and Horace. And Jasper and Horace, of course, if everybody doesn't know, we have Jasper and Horace versus Sheriff of Nottingham. No, Rowan, you're doing great. Trust me, you know a lot of Disney for sure. But Jasper and Horace, or the Sheriff of Nottingham. So what's your pick there? Jasper and Horace, or the Sheriff of Nottingham? Sheriff of Nottingham, Sheriff of Nottingham, Jasper and Horace from Disney Damsels, Jasper and Horace. Good point, Cargo. Who can hurt a puppy? I agree. Sheriff of Nottingham for our Disney Adventures. Jasper and Horace has got a vote there. Melissa, who is your pick? Sheriff of Nottingham for Noah. I will have to tag people, Stacy. The only problem is with the tag is I kind of made up this bracket on my own. I didn't pull this bracket from somewhere, so I can't direct people to this bracket and say, hey, go do the same bracket. But yeah, that might not be a bad idea. Maybe I will tag some people to do the Disney Bracket Challenge as well. Sheriff of Nottingham for Brian. I'm going to have to go with the Sheriff of Nottingham. He's actually one of my favorites. I enjoy his character. I think he's very, very cool, and he's definitely a good bad guy. So for me, it's the Sheriff of Nottingham. Bridget says Jasper and Horace as well. Can't go wrong with either one, but for me, it's the Sheriff of Nottingham. Hey, human person! Glad you're in here. Glad you're back. Thank you for joining me again. Sorry I was out earlier. We lost our internet connection, so I'm glad you're back. All right, next matchup. Here's a good one. This one's actually kind of a cute matchup. You have Iago from Aladdin versus the Big Bad Wolf. So Iago versus the Big Bad Wolf. Who do you pick there? Iago versus the Big Bad Wolf. Tough matchup. This one's a tough matchup, I think. I think this could go either way. Cargo says Iago. Stacy says Iago. Rowan says Iago. Big Bad Wolf for Brian. Iago. Iago Noah. Iago Melissa. I love Gilbert Gottfried's voice. I think he is perfect in that role. Human person, that's a good point. He does have his own theme song. You are correct. Who's afraid of the Big Bad Wolf? The Big Bad Wolf. So you're right. He does have his own theme song. And there aren't many villains that can say that. But he is one of them. Yeah, Gilbert Gottfried is the best. He is awesome. But yeah, I gotta go with Iago. As much as I like the Big Bad Wolf, I gotta go with Iago on this one. He's such an awesome character. He's awesome. I love him. I think he's great. He's one of my favorites, so he gets my pick. And then the last matchup, this is the last one of the first round, guys. And then we're going to quickly go through the second round, and then we're going to end it for today, and we'll finish up next week. But the last matchup for the first round is, and this is kind of a pairing matchup. You have Pain and Panic from Hercules versus the evil stepsisters, Drizella and Anastasia. So you have Pain and Panic versus Drizella and Anastasia. Who do you pick there? Yeah, exactly, Cogger. That's true. Oh, really, Brian? I think he's funny. I think he's funny. He is annoying, but he cracks me up. I'm sorry. I just think his voice is funny. So, Rowan says Pain and Panic. Melissa says Pain and Panic. Brian says the evil stepsisters. Noah, Pain and Panic. If it's good. We're doing Cargo right now. We're doing Pain and Panic versus the evil stepsisters. The one before that was Iago versus the Big Bad Wolf. And Iago won that one. But it was Iago versus the Big Bad Wolf and Pain and Panic versus the evil stepsisters. Okay, Disney Adventures says the stepsisters. Evil stepsisters for Cargo. So this one's actually really, really close. Got a lot of votes for both of them. But for me, and since this is my bracket, but I'm getting input from everybody. Thank you. For me, I've got to go with Pain and Panic. I love Hercules. It's one of my favorite Disney movies. And I think their characters are fantastic. So for me, it's going to be Pain and Panic who moves on to the second round. Okay? All right, so that's it. That's the first round in the book. So let's get moving on the second round. We'll have half as many matchups to do. We'll move a lot quicker. Stepsisters for Bridget. Thank you, Bridget. So we'll move a lot faster on these, and then we'll get down from, we just went from 64 villains, we're now down to 32 left, and once we get rid of these matchups, we'll be down from 32, we'll be down to 16, and then next week we'll finish it up. Yeah, Brian, don't worry. We'll definitely do the rides for sure. They are fun. All right, so here we go. So the second round matchup. These are the winners of the first rounds now going up against each other. We have Kronk. We're back to the beginning. We're going Kronk versus Pete from a Goofy movie. So Kronk versus Pete. Who's everybody's pick there? Who do you pick, Kronk or Pete? Rowan, I do this every Tuesday night. Every once in a while, I'll pick. I was going to let the dog out if he wants to go out. But every once in a while, I'll do. I'll try to have special guests depending upon the subject that I talk about. So yeah, we definitely do this every week, every Tuesday. It's a lot of fun. We have a good time with it. So we have Kronk, Pete got a vote. Kronk. You know what, human person? I did not put Mortimer Mouse on the bracket. I should have. That was one of the ones that I'm upset about that I missed. I got to be honest with you. I did not put them on the list. I should have, but that was the one I missed, and I'm sorry about that. Kronk, Pete. Oh, thank you, Rowan. That's fantastic. I appreciate that. Pete, the original Disney villain. That's a good one. That's true. Kronk, Pete. So for me, I'm going to go with Kronk, guys. That's my pick. Kronk is the winner there. All right, let's move on to the next matchup. The next matchup is going to be Cruella de Vil versus Mother Gothel. Cruella de Vil versus Mother Gothel. Who's everybody's pick there? That's a tough one. Cruella de Vil versus Mother Gothel. Cruella gets a vote. Cruella. Pete from the last one. Cruella de Vil. Come on, Melissa. You got to make a pick. Cruella for Brian. And I am going with Our Disney Adventure, says Cruella. That's true. If she doesn't scare you, no evil thing will. Cruella. There you go. So for me, I agree. Cruella de Vil. Yep, the puppy thing again, Melissa, I agree. So there you go. Cruella de Vil moves on to the Sweet 16 as well. Our next matchup, and this one actually could be a really good matchup. You have Hans from Frozen versus Ursula from The Little Mermaid. Hans versus Ursula. So who gets the win there? Cargo's singing the song. Cargo, you know, I actually don't know the words to Cruella de Vil. Isn't that terrible? I should know the words to it, but I don't. I don't know the words. I bet you Melissa does, but I don't. So Hans versus Ursula. Melissa says Ursula. Hans for Disney Damsels. Yeah, he is pretty bad, actually. Bridget picked Mother Gothel from the previous one. Oh, okay. So Disney Damsels is going with Ursula. Our Disney Adventures, Ursula. So I gotta go. I agree. I gotta go with Ursula on this one. I can't say that I would pick Hans over Ursula when it comes to bad guys. So Ursula is going to move on to the Sweet 16 as well. All right, we're going to keep going quick now, guys. I know we're coming up on our hour, so we're going to try to move as quickly as we can. Yeah, she does actually, Cargo. That's kind of funny. Yeah, well, he definitely made some poor choices, human person, for sure. So the next matchup is Prince John versus Chernabog. And I'm just kind of going down the list on this side, and then I'll get the list on the other side. We have Prince John versus Chernabog. Who do you guys pick there? Prince John versus Chernabog. Prince John versus Chernabog. So for Melissa, it's Chernabog. Yeah, Chernabog for Cargo. Prince John from Disney Damsels. If I could say it. Noah with Chernabog. Chernabog's a no-brainer for human person. Brian says the same thing. I gotta agree. I mean, he's definitely a demon. Chernabog's gotta make it for me as well. I agree. So Chernabog's gonna move on in my bracket as well. I'm moving over to the other side. We have Darla from we have Darla versus Jafar. Darla from Finding Nemo versus Jafar. Jafar versus Darla. Who's everybody's pick there? I know which one I'm picking, I think. I want to see what you guys think. Darla versus Jafar. Jafar for Melissa. Prince John for Bridget. Jafar. Got a lot of Jafars in there. Got a lot of Jafars. Cargo says, Darla, she's a fish killer. She shook the bag. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. She is definitely, you got to look out for Darla for sure. Jafar. I agree. I got to go with Jafar. He's a classic villain. He's definitely a bad baddie. Yeah, definitely, Bridget, be sure. I think you might be caught up now, but definitely check. Make sure you're live. Fishy, why are you sleeping? I know. Fishy! Wake up! Okay, so Jafar is going to move on for me. So here's the next matchup, and this is another good one. Let me just pull this up for you, and we'll get this next matchup going here. So the next matchup is Hopper from A Bug's Life versus the Evil Queen. Hopper versus the Evil Queen. So who does everybody pick there? Hopper versus the Evil Queen. Hopper versus the Evil Queen. I cannot talk tonight. Hopper for Melissa. I knew you were going to pick him too, Melissa. I knew you were going to say Hopper. I knew you were going to say Hopper for sure. Evil Queen, Evil Queen, Evil Queen, the Evil Queen. Evil Queen, because if I don't say her, Meg won't love me anymore. Well, she's not here. Brian says, because she's fair. That's funny. I won't tell her, Cargo. If you want to pick Hopper, you can. So, Evil Queen, Evil Queen. I like Hopper a lot. I really do. Evil Queen for human person. I really like Hopper a lot. But I agree. It's going to be the Evil Queen. She definitely has to get the pick, in my opinion. So Evil Queen will move on. And our next matchup is the Evil Emperor Zurg versus Dr. Facilier. Evil Emperor Zurg versus Dr. Facilier. This is kind of a tough one, I think. I don't think this one's as clear-cut as you might think. Evil Emperor Zurg versus Dr. Facilier. Who does everybody pick in that one? Zurg versus Dr. Facilier. Now, I'm a really big fan of Emperor Zurg. I think he's one of my favorite villains. He's really cool. I'm a big fan of Buzz Lightyear, too. Bridget picks Dr. Facilier. Dr. Facilier for Cargo. He's got friends on the other side. Brian says the Shadow Man as well. Stacy says Dr. Facilier. It looks like we got a one. This is pretty one-sided. Noah, Dr. Facilier. There you go. Human Person says the Shadow Man because he has some cool purple eyes. Brian says the same thing. Yep, Shadow Man. Okay, Dr. Facilier, and I agree. I think as much as I like Evil Emperor Zurg, he doesn't beat out Dr. Facilier. Not in this round. He wouldn't move on. It's not a good matchup for Buzz. I mean, for Emperor Zurg, Buzz's guy. Melissa says Zurg just to be different. Well, you're definitely different because you're the only one that picked him. All right, so we are moving on from that matchup. So Dr. Facilier moves on. We're almost done, guys. Just hang on a little bit longer. I appreciate you staying with me. We have Randall from Monsters, Inc. Randall from Monsters Incorporated versus the Sheriff of Nottingham. Randall versus Sheriff of Nottingham. Who's everybody's pick there? A human person, that would be really cool to meet the Shadow Man in New Orleans Square out in Disneyland. That would be really, really neat. I'd love to do that. So let me know. Randall versus the Sheriff of Nottingham. Who's everybody's pick there? Randall versus the Sheriff of Nottingham. Randall. Definitely a couple good picks there. Randall. Cargo says Randall. Randall for Noah. Randall for Bridget. Both are sneaky. Yeah, they are both sneaky for sure. Randall for Melissa. I agree. Randall gets the vote for me too. So Randall's going to move on. And our next matchup. Now remember, these were my picks. So these are the ones that I had picked. I picked Bellwether. So we have Bellwether from Zootopia. Yeah, Brian, that's true. Just take out his battery and he's dead. So I have Bellwether from Zootopia versus Sid from Toy Story. Sid versus Bellwether. What's your pick there? Sid versus Bellwether. Oh, how about that, human person? I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. So Sid versus Bellwether. Of course, Sid is from Toy Story. Sid. Looks like we got a lot of Sid votes here. Sid is a bad guy for sure. Sid from Melissa, Sid from Human Person, Noah, Sid, Brian, Sid. Pretty unanimous, and I agree. As much as I like picking Bellwether in the first round, I can't pick her over Sid in the second round. So Sid is definitely going to move on. Brian picks Sid as well. All right, so Sid moves on, and the next matchup is Ka versus Hades. Ka versus Hades. So if Disney Damsels, if you're still in here, here's your chance to vote for your guy. We have Ka versus Hades. We're almost done, guys. Hang in there. Appreciate those who are still hanging on. Ka versus Hades. We have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a few more votes to do. Yeah, that is a tough one. Bridget, I agree. Ka versus Hades. Ka, Hades, Ka, Hades. Hades. Yeah, Jungle Book is a great movie, Cargo. It really is a good movie for sure. So we got some Hades votes. We got some Ka votes. I think for me, again, Hades is absolutely one of my favorite villains of all time. So I got to go with Hades. I definitely want to keep it moving. So for me, guys, I'm going to go with Hades. Okay? And then two more. We're going to do 2 more matchups for today. And then we'll kind of stop it there until next week, and we'll finish up next week. Yes, Hades could cook Ka. I agree. Yes, Bridget, I knew that. I knew it was her for sure. All right, next matchup. 2 to go, guys. 2 to go. We have Captain Hook versus Shere Khan. Captain Hook versus Shere Khan. 2 more matchups, and then we'll call it a night. And again, folks, remember to hit that like button for me. Please hit that like button. Give us a thumbs up if you've enjoyed the video today. If you've enjoyed our little bracket challenge. We're doing, just give me a thumbs up on that, and we are doing Captain Hook versus Shere Khan. Who do we pick there? Captain Hook versus Shere Khan. So Cargo says Hook. Brian says Shere Khan. Who else do we have? Captain Hook for Noah. Thank you, Cargo. I appreciate that. Definitely means a lot, guys, for y'all hanging in. I know we're running a little bit over. We're just about done. Thank you, Stacy. I appreciate that. Hook from Melissa. Captain Garfield. I didn't know that, Noah. I mean, human person. Is that true? Bridget says Shere Khan for Stacy. So I'm going with Captain Hook. I gotta go Captain Hook. I think he's awesome. Oh, thanks, Bridget. Thank you very much. I didn't know that. That definitely means a lot. Thank you for saying that. Tigers do eat pirates, Brian. I agree. But I am going with Captain Hook as well. I think he's a really cool bad guy. All right, last matchup for tonight, and again we'll finish up next week, and then next week I will also go ahead and do my tags on this. So make sure you have everybody come out. So here we go. Our last matchup for this week is going to be Iago versus Maleficent. Iago versus Maleficent. That's the last matchup for this week. Iago versus Maleficent. Who is? I think we know who everybody's going to pick here, but we have Iago versus Maleficent. Bridget Maleficent, Cargo Maleficent. I think that's going to probably be my pick too. Is going to be Maleficent, Stacy, Melissa, Maleficent, Brian. Absolutely, it makes total sense. It's got to be Maleficent. I think she's probably going to make it to the near the end of the list, to be honest with you. But yep, she's my pick as well. Human person picks Maleficent. All right, okay, and that's it. So we have pretty much almost Noah Maleficent as well. Bridget loves Angelina Jolie as Maleficent in the live one. And that's it, guys. That's going to do it for this week. I don't want to keep everybody. You guys have been great hanging on, especially with the internet going down and everybody coming back. I definitely appreciate it. So we will definitely stop it here tonight. We will finish up next week. And at the end of next week, when we finish up, I will send out my tags of who I'm tagging. I'm going to tag probably 5 people to do this bracket challenge on Disney villains. So we're going to finish up next week. Yes, everybody, thank you for being here. Again, if you haven't hit the like button, please do so. I definitely appreciate you coming out. Again, thank you to Dean and the Live Place for hosting the show. Great live streams out there. Everybody that's in the chat tonight, thank you very much for coming out. I hope you had a good time. If you haven't already subscribed to everybody's channels, please do so. Go out and subscribe to their channels. The channels are wonderful. Cargo, Stacy's out there, Bridget, Noah, Human Person, Brian, Krista was in here. We had Disney Damsels in here who has a great channel. Be sure and check their channel out. Did I say Cargo? Cargo, of course, Melissa, who's wonderful, who holds a special place in my heart. She knows that. You guys have Noah's here. Everybody's been great. Arjon's was in here for a little while. Everybody was just wonderful, so I appreciate it. Everybody coming out. I had a great time. We'll finish up next week. And until then, guys, thank you again. Definitely love you guys. You're all wonderful. And check us out Thursday. We're going to have our live stream with Melissa on Thursday. And until then, take care of yourselves and each other. And we'll finish up next week. Talk to you then. Good night.